Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Odyssey House Journals. We got some new analytics in today, and guess what was the number one city in America in terms of listeners and viewers last week?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, that was a good guess, but it's wrong.
Fayetteville.
No, that was a good guess, too. And this one blew me away, is New York City.
Really?
Yeah, and it may not sound large for a city like New York, but we had 140 viewers and listeners in New York last week.
Very cool.
Isn't that where Odyssey House started, too?
What?
Isn't that where Odyssey House started?
That's where Odyssey House started, and there's still a real active Odyssey House program there. So we were thinking that maybe they forced their clients to watch or listen to a podcast, and so that counts for the 140 that we had. But if you're watching this week or listening, welcome. It's good to see you. I'm Randall Carlisle, your host. Nicole Slack is the co-host. And our guest today is Sean Aykroyd. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you for having me.
You are a person in long-term recovery.
I am.
And you also work at Odyssey House.
I do.
What do you do at Odyssey?
I'm the clinical coordinator for a residential facility, one of our adult residential.
Which means what?
Which means I supervise our case managers. I'm kind of the liaison between our external community partners. And I do all the, bits and pieces that need to be done.
And I should say, this podcast is not aimed at channeling people into Odyssey House at all. It's to talk about addiction and recovery. And we just it's easier to find guests from Odyssey House than it is from somewhere else. So we plucked Sean from a meeting downstairs. So appreciate you coming. I started out saying you're a person in long-term recovery. Can you give us a brief synopsis of your addiction?
Oh, there's so much to tell.
Well,
that we've experienced
we got
this
a half
before.
hour
I
here,
don't shut up. So I, first of all, my clean date is August 18th, 2018. Had a hard time saying it. 8/18/18. Yeah, I like eights apparently.
Wow.
But
that's a long time.
It's getting there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I'm still feel like a newcomer, though.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. I've got 12 years this coming up, and it's new every day.
Yeah.
And you sort of wake. Do you wake up in the morning saying, "Thank God I'm sober"?
No.
Don't you? You don't?
I just wake up and I'm like, I have this to do at work today. No, I really don't think about my clean date or being clean at all. I don't know if that's bad. I just am.
It's not bad. And if you are, you are.
I think I hit 2 years tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
And I just don't.
So you're going to celebrate and go out and get drunk?
Yeah, obviously.
Oh, that's a great
Obviously.
plan.
Yeah.
Sign me up, please.
Yeah. You should join. 18/18 ended tomorrow.
Throw in a couple lines. We're good.
So your addiction. But
My addiction. As far as where to start out, my addiction started long before I started using drugs. It started with, to a point where, not a point. I never thought I was enough. I never thought I fit in. I never thought I was who I should be, according to what I was raised to be. I had that.
who were you raised that you should be, and what were you that wasn't enough?
Well, I'm put it right out there, straight, a good, God-fearing man, married with children, the perfect kind individual that my mom wanted me to be. It's not so much what my mom wanted me, what the world wanted me to be, what I thought the world wanted me to be. There's those perfectionism that pops up in my life everywhere.
Sure.
And the perfectionism that I think I based my life on was what I thought everybody else wanted me to do and be. So I was going to go on a mission. I was going to get married. I was going to have kids. I was LDS. Was going to go to the temple every day and live that life and, be a, God-fearing, righteous man. I knew early on that wasn't an option for me because I was gay.
When did you know that?
I say early on, I mean really early on. I grew up in southern Alberta, up in Canada, and then southern Utah, and we were at my cousin's house one day having lunch during school, and his dad was there, and he looked at his dad, and up in Canada they had whole milk is homogenized milk,
right?
And they shorten it with homo.
Homo milk.
Yeah, homo milk. And so my cousin asked his dad, so what does homo mean, Dad? And rather than look at the milk container, he went straight to homo is the most evil and vile person in the world.
Ooh.
So in that point in time, I knew I was.
And how old were you?
I was about 11 years old.
That must have been crushing.
It was. Yeah. From that point forward, I viewed myself as the most evil and vile person in the world.
Jeez.
And so I spent my whole life trying not to be. And what I tried not, the way I did that was by trying to be what everybody else thought I should be. So it was a very life-altering moment, very,
I guess.
I want to say come to Jesus moment, but it wasn't coming to Jesus. It was
Yeah.
according to them, coming to Satan, I guess. I don't know. It was really, really hard for me.
Think about the fact that one occurrence that you remember all those years ago, what one person said, and it stuck with you, and it really affected your life.
And that's 42 years ago.
Jeez.
I'm that old.
Think about it. It shows we should be careful what we say to and about people, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think, what's his name that writes that book, The Four Agreements, casting, is being impeccable with your word. And casting spells. He talks about casting spells. Ruiz is his last name.
Yeah.
In The Four Agreements. He talks about casting spells with our words and how easy it is for us to inadvertently cast a spell on somebody just by saying something as simple as, your kid's singing right now and you don't want to hear it, stop singing. And all of a sudden your kid thinks the story they tell themselves is, I'm not a good singer. She hates it.
Wow.
And to me, that was, it was quite literal that I'm an evil and vile person.
So you're evil at 11,
Yeah.
and you're growing up thinking that. And how did that translate into numbing yourself?
Well, it just goes back to the not feeling like I was normal, like I was part of. I was always on the outside. I never had really good friends because I was always afraid of them seeing who I really was. I had to hide that part of me. And as life goes on, you find more and more things about yourself that you have to hide. You feel like you have to hide. Because if you don't, they aren't going to like you. They aren't going to fit. You aren't going to fit in. You won't be involved or included. And that just, like I said, kept compounding itself throughout my life. Wow. And by the time I hit, it's funny. I say this, this happened at an early age, but my addiction started, long before I started using drugs. I didn't start using drugs till I was 41 years old.
What? So you find out you're evil at 11.
Yeah.
And you
So we
start
have
drugs at 41. You're slow.
30 years of compounding all the stress and self-loathing.
Yeah.
And finally, when I lost the person, my mom died in 2010. And then my mom died in 2010. I lost my job in 2011. My grandma died in 2011. My dad died in 2012. I lost everybody who made me feel part of, particularly my mom, my grandma. It made me feel like I was loved. And so when I lost that, it was,
That was
no holds barred. And I didn't go straight to drugs. It was more of a kind of a gradual thing. My mom, she died of cancer and she left a bunch of pills behind. And I had them in my house for a year. And as pain pills, pain pills, the Soma, the
right,
sleeping
muscle
pills, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Xanax and everything. I remember about a year and a half after she died, I was not being able to. I wasn't able to sleep, because these thoughts kept racing. How my this is miserable. My life sucks. It's just getting worse. I have nobody to love me. I have nobody to talk to. And so I started, taking those pills just to sleep at night. So I'd take a pill at night. I'd wake up in the morning, take Adderall because I was prescribed Adderall, and go throughout my day. And I did that for a year till those pills finally ran out. In another way, I masked that not feeling enough, not being connected or being a part of, was through sex. And admittedly, I was addicted to sex as well. So I'd get on Grindr. Yeah, right? Those social apps are wonderful.
Or not.
Or not, thank you. I'd get on those apps and I would find somebody and then we'd hook up. And in those moments of when that person is with me, I remember feeling attractive. I remember feeling wanted. I remember feeling loved in a weird way and making that connection. And I wanted more of that. And so I got more of that and more and more and more. So this is going on before I started using drugs too. Because I was so desperate, still so desperate from a young age to fit in. And finally, after I was still doing the whole sex thing, still doing the pills thing, and got on Grindr one day and hooked up with this gentleman who said he was partying. So I said, I don't know what that means, but yeah, you do your thing. I just want to feel loved. I want to feel wanted. I want to feel desired. And went over to his house, and he's, getting his needle ready to use meth. I say this because it's kind of funny. You ever heard the term stupid hot? Right? You know what I mean with that?
Yeah.
They're so hot, you just get stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was so hot, I got stupid. And when he said, want to give it a try? I'm like, go ahead, yeah.
Wow.
And so I tried meth for the first time intravenously. And I was off to the races. For that, I didn't look back. I didn't think of anything else. I couldn't think of anything else. That feeling, it was kind of a feeling of, I have arrived. This is what life is meant to be. This stuff makes me happy, makes me not think about not wanting or not being involved, not being a part of, not being enough. Because I felt like I was enough in that moment.
For the first time.
Yeah.
For the first time.
You're not chasing that oxytocin of like your hookup.
Yeah.
Now you just get to feel good.
Yeah. And that's, like I said, that's all I thought of from that point forward. I was working selling cars at the time. I shouldn't say who. Can I say who it is? Like, what's
You can say anything you
Ken
want.
Garf Honda.
Okay.
Freaking amazing company to work for.
You hear that, Ken Garf?
Ken Garf, yeah, there we go, plug.
Yes.
And
I need a new car. Can we get a discount?
I'm looking too.
It's the same.
You guys should go to Ken Garf Honda.
Yeah, they have good cars there.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was working in Ken Garf Honda as a salesman, and I was typically up in the top, 5 or 6 people salesmen. I was doing pretty good, but the second I tried meth and I couldn't think of anything else, I dropped straight to the bottom. I mean, it was a straight, from here to here, in 1 month.
Wow.
And normally they would have let me go. They would have let somebody like that go. Because it's obvious I was having struggles, and probably quite obvious I was using drugs. But they held on to me for 5 more months, 6 more months, and helped me out, trying to help me through this and make me better and get me back involved and become a better person and a salesman, I guess. But it didn't work out, so they ended up firing me, which I don't blame them for. I would have fired myself the month after I dropped down. But I don't know where I was going with that. Sorry to start talking.
So, because we do only have a half hour.
Yeah.
So how did you finally, what forced you into recovery, and how'd you get to where you are and how? Okay.
As cliche as it sounds, everybody talks about that rock bottom, right? Where you've had enough.
Right.
You're sick and tired of being sick and tired, to use more cliches. It reached a point where I throughout my whole addiction, I held a job, waiting on tables, just odd jobs. And I finally got fired from my job up at Marie Callender's up in Layton, and had no money to pay rent, which I really wasn't doing at the time anyways, or buy my drugs. And so, there's an awful come down period of 2 weeks for meth when you've been using intravenously. I finally got over that, and I started calling people to say, hey, I'm not using anymore. I need a place to live. And I had exhausted all of my help, everybody, all my contacts. except one person who was a last-ditch effort. He was a friend that used to work with me, Murray Counters, and I called him and said, hey, so I need a place to crash. I lost my job. I'm not using drugs anymore. I want to get better, with the full intention of I'm going to get on his couch. I'll get a job, make more money, and go back out.
Sure.
That was my intention. It turns out this guy had moved to St. George and was working at Renaissance Ranch.
Ah.
And he said, I don't care how you do it. Get your ass in a car and get down here, and I'll help you. So the next day, I packed my things up, and my friend drove me down to St. George and dropped me off, and nothing to do with me anymore. Whoa, hi.
That's
We'll put it right there. Is that cool? It's kind of leaning on there.
For those of you not watching, he just knocked the mic stand.
Yeah, I'm animated.
Yes, so, good recovery.
Yeah, but thank you. More ways than one, right? Yeah. But he got me down there, and I got involved in IOP, or actually PHP was a 2.5 up care, the day treatment. Got me in sober living, and at some point in time, throughout the 5 months that I was there, I started buying into it. Then I started buying into the fact that, yeah, I might be enough the way I am. It's okay to be me. It's okay to be who I thought was evil and vile and not feel that I'm evil and vile because I have these people giving me validation now saying that it's true. Enough so that I started to believe that myself. I say that in my recovery, that was when I started getting clean. When I started getting into recovery, of course, I was tired of being there, and so I said, okay, I want to move now. I'm done with treatment. I'm good. Moved back to Salt Lake and had a needle in my arm 12 hours after I moved back.
Wow.
And that was 8/18/18. I haven't looked back since. I want to say it was one of those, eye-opening epiphany moments. And it kind of was in a sense where, this sucks. It's not fun anymore. It didn't really serve what I wanted to serve because I started feeling that on my own already. It didn't make me whole anymore. It made me, just weird.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't a good high, I guess.
It wasn't that feeling you had the first time.
Yeah. Well, and we have that thing about tolerance. You keep using it up, you need more to make yourself feel that way. But I kind of attribute the fact that I started learning about myself and started being more comfortable with myself. That when I did that last little run, that one day, I realized I don't need that anymore. It doesn't give me anything different than what I'm feeling right now. Well, it does. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't give me so much of a dramatic increase of I feel enough, I'm whole again. Because I'm already feeling that way, and that's kind of where what I attribute to I'm done with it. And then my buddy that got me to St. George actually helped me get in touch with somebody at Odyssey House who hired me on as a part-time staff. That was in May of 2019, and I've been working here ever since. And
wow.
My recovery just keeps going and going and going. We were talking today. I'm going to just really say this really quick. We're talking today. I don't know what this has anything to do with, but part of my recovery isn't the fact that I'm so far along in recovery that I'm an old timer now. My recovery knows, or I know, that I have to keep going back to the basics. I can't just say, okay, I'm good. I don't have to go to any more meetings anymore. I don't have to preach recovery anymore. I know that I keep myself in the basics and doing those to keep me clean, because without those, I start slipping back down. I start saying, start doubting myself and second guessing myself and second guessing my value again. And
no more grinder.
No more grind. I'm no longer on social apps. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't do those anymore, except Facebook.
Where did Sean go? He was always around.
He's in his room in his dark looking at his phone. I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's stuck to it.
So you're working with clients now.
Yeah.
And we bring this up a lot in these podcasts. I'll have people who don't understand addiction saying, how can you have former addicts dealing with addicts, and why does that make sense? Why does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. For some reason, when I was in treatment, the people who affected me the most, and I'm not saying that people who haven't had an addiction or have a problem with addiction that are helping clients as well, the social workers and everything, aren't effective because they are. They know the tools. They can help you with tools. For some of us, me included, it takes seeing that somebody who is just at the same place that I was, that selling your body for drugs and basically homeless and miserable and not feeling, it's a negative self-worth. Right. Seeing somebody like that coming up and telling me to do it now, telling me how they did it. That's a powerful thing. Narcotics Anonymous has something they say, their ratings, the value of one addict helping another is without parallel.
Yes.
And it's true.
I totally agree. And that's why we're a modified therapeutic community. So we have people like you, but we also have professionals who never experienced addiction dealing with our clients, and it works.
It does. It's a great model. And we also, in the therapeutic community, we have people who have shown their dedication to their recovery, clients that have shown their dedication to their recovery, who move up in the program, leading the ones who are new, just to show them that it can be done, that this disease of addiction, it sucks.
Yes,
it sucks really bad, but there's a way out, and this is how we do it.
So how do you feel about yourself now? Are you evil? Are you whole? What are you now?
I'm evil for different reasons.
Yeah, well.
No, I'm not. Like I say, my recovery keeps me going back to the basics, because once in a while, if I take a break, I start going down. So it's am I 100% whole? I don't know that I'll ever be 100% whole. I'm an enemy of someone, right? Who is? But am I better off? Do I enjoy myself, and do I accept who I am? Yeah, a hell of a lot more. Oh yeah, 100%. People say that when they come into addiction, they learn to love themselves, or come into recovery, they learn to love themselves, because
right.
they didn't have that before. And I'm still learning to fully love myself, but I think that's okay, because I think there are parts of me that are still improving, that are still growing, and parts of me that I'm still getting to know. And learning to love those is a daily thing.
Sure, I'm an old fart. And I'm still learning. There's parts of me I don't love, but I'm learning to love other parts of me.
And at least come to appreciate those parts that we don't love.
Yeah, exactly. How about you? You love yourself?
Yeah. No, I think I went through so long of wanting to die that just wanting to be alive, I think, is a really big step. And now
It is.
Getting to a place where I'm actually happy and enjoying days and wanting to go do things and not just surviving.
Yeah. We're excited to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah. It's not okay. When I eat my first few months in the house, I was like, I'll go do this because I know I'm supposed to, and you're supposed to want to live. And so let's do this. And now it's like, yay, I get to go do this today. I get to podcast with Randall.
Yeah. There you go. Thrill of the day, right?
Me too.
You and 140 New Yorkers. So what is in my opinion, and you say getting back to, or staying with basics, I find working at Odyssey makes it a lot easier for me to continue my recovery, as opposed to I used to work in TV, and every night after the 10 o'clock news, we'd all go to a bar, which is not great for an alcoholic, And I've been at Odyssey 6 years, nobody said, let's go out for a drink.
It's really a good thing.
But my point is, though, you're working with a lot of people who are working on recovery, whether clients or professionally. Right on the other side, and I find it, easy. It's nice. It's like you get paid for getting treatment every day.
Yeah. Okay. It's I'm kind of along the same lines. If I know that if I go back out, I lose my job.
Right.
So in that sense, working at Odyssey House, it's keeping me sober. I get to talk about recovery every day, and that keeps me thinking and keeps me in that mindset. My recovery, I treat separately, because I'm a 12-stepper. I do the Narcotics Anonymous. I attend my meetings. I sponsor people. I have a sponsor that I talk to on a daily basis. Probably should. Sorry, Brittany.
If you're watching, he needs to talk. Give him a call.
But yeah, I work that program actively. I stay involved in that,
Good.
and that's part of that connection piece that we all needed in recovery. Because I felt, like I said for so long, that I wasn't part of anything. I wasn't connected to anybody, and that's how I keep my recovery up, by making those connections and maintaining those connections now.
We're recording this. Who knows when people are watching or listening? We're recording it during Pride Month. What do you think? Yeah, what's your opinion on the state of acceptance of everyone these days? Is it getting better or worse?
You know what? The political climate changes so much, and then with that comes the swings with acceptance. You get people who give a platform for the naysayers, and those people speak up and they get louder.
Right.
I mean, if somebody gives a platform for the ones who want acceptance and who want to help this population out, and those people get louder. Overall, I think that we are moving towards a place of more acceptance. And I was at the parade. I was at the parade last week, and I've never gone to a pride parade because I'm not big on crowds. A lot of people.
That's a big crowd.
It's a huge crowd. Holy crap!
Yes.
As I'm sitting on the side of the road watching these people go by, and just the smiles on their faces and just celebrating their lives, I realize that I'm to a point now where I can celebrate my life. And it struck me as very poetic that there was so much of my life that I didn't celebrate who I was. And so much that I hated myself, and watching those people walk down the street with the smiles on their faces and just being proud of who they are, it gave me more hope and more love for myself to be able to be that supportive of myself, and buy into my own character flaws and thinking errors, I guess.
Sure.
And not buy into them, but once again, move more into a place of appreciation.
You're openly gay. Does that hinder you at all in terms of dealing with some clients?
I haven't run into that at all.
Not at all.
No.
Wow. That's good to hear.
It is kind of cool.
Although I would say that people in recovery are perhaps a little more liberal than society in general.
I would say you're 100% correct there.
What do you think?
I think it's the opposite. I think a lot of the clients lean one way and the staff leans another way.
Yeah.
We have we have had negative comments about talking about pride or talking about Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. And I guess it all depends on where you're coming from,
I think it also matters that Sean's super cool. So
it's not that he's gay or straight. It's that he's
kind
cool.
of awesome.
Yeah.
So
Tell me more stuff.
He wants to hear more. But we're out of time. So super cool person who's learning to love himself and helping tons of people. I appreciate you being our guest.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming.
Thank you, Nicole.
Nice to see you again.
for sure.
And thank you for watching or listening. Hello, New York, Odyssey House there. Thank you for listening or watching another edition of Odyssey House Journals.